All right, men. Thank y'all for joining us here. I'm Andy Albright, CEO, President of National Agents Alliance. And I'll kind of pop around to each one of you guys. First, we had a situation that happened yesterday. I was announcing family reunion. Our family reunion is coming up. And Mr. Davies is a really close and dear part of my family. And I asked him to reference or ask him to kind of give me some backup because we've got a guy named Robert Van Winkle coming into our family reunion. His a lot of people know him as Vanilla Ice or Ice Baby. Stop, collaborate, and listen. You know, that guy. Maybe you didn't pick up on it for that. You can Google it and find it. But so I had this thought. I've been looking in my cabinet and I've got this real exclusive bourbon and it's called Pappy Van Winkle. And I thought to myself, I'll just take credit. Now, one of my guys might have tipped me, give me an idea, but I thought Van Winkle, wonder if they're related. And then that's not the case, at least from our research and, the genealogical. And I was like, but it'd still be cool to drink some of that Van Winkle with Van Winkle. And I'm like, man, that would be fun. It'd be cool. It'd be a nice gift for him if it's exclusive and exquisite and expensive. And Robbie curated this bourbon for me. So I want to have him on here because I went to Davies and I was like, David, you can talk about how expensive that stuff is. And Davies hit me with, yeah, you must have paid like what, $375 or $475. And I was like, I lost my poker face because I'm going like, I'm getting ready to text Robbie Kraft and say, hey, you're the curator. You tell me this stuff is worth money. So Mr. Davies, apparently you, I don't know. I mean, we're going to see. I got an expert and a curator.
To be fair, I think I said $700 or $800, which is exponentially closer, though not even close. Also, in my defense, I am more of a Scotch guy, so it was like a hockey guy commentating on a baseball game. I kind of knew what was up, but the nuances were lost on me. And thirdly, in my defense, where I come from, most people drink their wine from boxes and Yahtzee shakers. So I have come a long way.
All right. So you're in 24 hours, you've rethunk.
I have.
And you're thinking that my bottle of 23-year-old Pappy.
I committed the cardinal sin of guessing and not knowing on a call in front of the world. So I have come hat in hand to say I was wrong.
Well, I was thinking to myself, like when I was saying, who knows this? I'm looking at my screen and, I've got a couple dozen people, thousands of people listening, but a couple dozen I'm looking at. I'm like, Davies is my take a sip, don't miss a cocktail sort of a guy. I was telling them Logan on the show. I read a clip about a guy. He said, have you ever had the misfortune of missing your afternoon cocktail? And he said, I must confess, on some things I plan ahead. And therefore, I don't think I've ever recalled missing my afternoon cocktail.
That's the life to live right there.
So I thought about Leventovich because I know Louisville, Kentucky is related to bourbon. I've known some fellows from there. They always talk about that being the capital. So Leventovich, are you familiar with bourbon and Pappy's? And have you heard tell of this stuff?
Yeah, since I moved here, they've indoctrinated me. I'm not a native, but I'm an adopted son now. And they've got the Bourbon Trail. And everybody keeps telling me every time I go to a distillery, it's because we got all this limestone and it filters the water. So we've got the best quality water in the world without having to treat it. And it's much more convenient to make it here. At least that's their excuse for making it, because they make, I don't know how many distilleries we've got on this Bourbon Trail within an hour here. There must be, I don't know. I've been to personally and sampled the craft at least a dozen of the distilleries. So I know there's more that I haven't been to than I have.
Well, I'm gonna let you chime in on the exclusivity of this product that I have so flippantly invested in. Approximately how many years ago, Robbie, did I make this purchase based on your recommendation?
2018, so 3 years ago.
3 years ago. So if it's 23-year-old, now it's 26-year-old. Can we advertise it as 26-year-old? So here's what we did. If you don't know for sure, what do? You go do your research. So I had my guys go to work, search bourbon, and they pop up this Rick House basement expert, Logan Haynes. And I was like, well, reach out to him. And they started telling me, what he's done. So I said, let's get it from the horse's mouth. Let's get it from somebody who's got the following. Because he's got the followings, he must know, right? So he's got millions of followers on this TikTok and Amigrammy, and he's just got all this stuff going on. And so the credibility's there. But I do want to hear it from you, Logan. So what's your story on having some expertise in bourbon?
Yeah. So, similar to Mike, living in Kentucky, you got two options. You can go with horses or you can go with bourbon. And, my HOA wouldn't allow a horse. So we went with bourbon. So I got involved a little over a decade and actually went to Buffalo Trace and fell in love with that distillery and said, you know what, that'd be a fun hobby job. And so I went to volunteer to give tours. And they said, oh, no, we'll pay you. I said, even better. So started working for Buffalo Trace, just telling stories, just kind of being an ambassador for them, of telling the passion, the history, the science behind, the product that we in Kentucky love so much. And you guys, especially, Davies does as well, even though it doesn't come in a box. So we've fallen in love with it. Working at Buffalo Trace afforded me the opportunity to try out for what's called the tasting panel, which, sounds really cool in the title, but it was a lot of work. It wasn't one of those things I just showed up and said, hey, I practiced a lot in college, I've got this, right? They actually go through about 6 months of testing your palate. So, halfway through, to give you an idea, they'll give you 6 different bourbons, all in opaque glasses, and you can't tell what's inside. You have to pick up each one, sniff it, taste it, and put them all in order from youngest to oldest. So that's halfway through. Final test, they'll give you several different products that they make at Buffalo Trace. You have to pick up each one, sniff it, taste it, and say, this one's Van Winkle 10 years. This one's Van Winkle 12 year, 15, 20, 23. This one's Eagle Rare. This one's Buffalo Trace, so on and so forth. And you got to get them all right. So it was a job I was willing to take home with me for sure.
So just some test questions.
Yep.
Have you ever had a bourbon you didn't like?
Never.
All right. Do you have a favorite or favorites?
I do have several favorites. My all-time favorite is what's called Rock Hill Farms. 4 or 5 years ago, you'd see it sitting on a shelf with dust on it because nobody knew what it was. But now it's up there in the scarcity and rarity of some of the Van Winkle stuff. So that's my go-to.
So this Van Winkle you've heard of. This is not a under the counter, mysterious, nobody knows about it subject.
People know Van Winkle before they know the governor in Kentucky.
Mine has 20-year on one bottle, and I got a nice little pocket it goes in, little cover thing. And the other one says 23-year-old. I'm going to show you to verify you. I mean, we're not in person, but
yep.
This behind you, I'm curious about. It looks kind of cool. Is that real barrels or is that one of those screenshot saver things?
So I'm in my office right now. So this is a screenshot, but it is a screenshot of my basement.
Okay. So that is the authentic basement, but a screenshot.
Yep. Yeah. This is what's called the basement Rick House. So, COVID shut down all the bars in Kentucky and we needed a place to go. So we built this in the basement. So it was the only bar open in Kentucky.
You built this last year?
Finished it up last year. Yeah. So we've only lived in the house since August of 2019.
And you can be found on TikTok and Instagram under if anybody wants to verify this and look it up, it's what is it?
Basement _ Rick House.
Basement _ Rick House. Logan Haynes.
That's it.
Well, so Logan, Davies has been with me for longer than he's not been with me. Not been with me for 20 years, been with me for 21. So young man, made, I don't know, millions and millions, Davies, millions and millions of dollars.
Yes, sir. Millions and millions.
Traveled the world. Give an idea of where all we've been just because of this silly little, I say silly, it's a serious business. We're in the insurance protection of people, not the liquor business. It's given us the ability to afford some nice drinks around the country, but give them some idea of what you've done over the years, Davies.
I mean, it's been insane when coming here and being behind on car payments, behind on rent, and then within a few short years making millions of dollars here has just been insane and completely changed. I mean, so many things for us. We traveled the world. Like, I grew up going on vacation was relatives' houses, but we've been to just about every continent now. I mean, everywhere from Fiji to, all over the Caribbean. Holly and I don't even know how many times we've been to Hawaii. We were talking about that the other day. And we're like, we're not really sure how many times we've been to Hawaii. But just it traveled all over and experienced a lot of really cool stuff. Looking forward to got Aruba coming up here in just a little bit. But it's been crazy to travel the world, see things and just beyond anything I could have imagined.
And it continues on. You're bringing on young people right now, old people that have been through a divorce, lost a business, something's changed in their life, and show them how to instantly make 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month. I say instantly, if they'll work, it's making it happen. I met one of your guys here yesterday on the sitting out here, letting him look over the Gulf Coast out of my living room. And he was like, it's unbelievable. I wish I'd have found this 10 years ago. I'm like, dude, you're 29 years old. Calm down. It's unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? Most of us found this. Of course, Davies found it when he was 20 years old. But wife, had kids, raised kids, bought a house, bought another house. It's been fun watching you, Stephen, and enjoy and watching you. And I'm telling you this, Logan, he's made some drinks from us around the country. We just kicked the bartender out. Like, could you just, no offense, could we just let Davies go back there and shake it up for us? I remember a couple of specific times where like, y'all are not doing good. So then Mike Leventovich, I met Mike through another friend who's absolutely killed it. Not a connoisseur. He's more of a connoisseur of music and guitars, but he led me to Mike Leventovich, who, Mike, you and Noel have made millions, travel the world. You actually moved to Louisville from Cincinnati?
Dayton up north. Yeah. And had fun. We experienced the world. Louisville's home, but boy, it's just a gateway to a lot of places. Like Stephen's saying, traveling the world's been amazing. Not only do we drink a little bourbon, but I was able to afford to buy a barrel of Eagle Rare from over there's a distillery where Logan's worked at. And so just, it's like instead of buying by the bottle, you buy the barrel once in a while. You get volume discounts, 10 grand for a barrel. But anyways, but just doing fun stuff. Like, who would have thought? It's like, you could buy bourbon by the barrel. So yeah, you can. You just got to have a check and a little bit of time. But doing it with some friends is fun. And then just, looking back at things we've been able to do, even having kids and knowing that we've taken our kids, Stephen talks about traveling, but knowing our kids have experienced and learned history by traveling and seeing it, going to Europe and seeing places like, Hitler's Wolves Den in Poland, or seeing Auschwitz and understanding it, like just touching it. And how do you create that for your kids how do you take the time and have the money to do it? This business has given us the time to do that. And then knowing we've been helping a number of families. So I've had 2 death claims in the past year from people that have died from COVID. And it was very sad, but guess what? We were able to be there to help these families out. So what we do matters in the business side, but then we've been able to do so much to help other agents earn freedom. Watching a single mom on our team that's on pace to earn between $600,000 and $700,000 this year, where her previous best income was $40,000 working in the restaurant business. Or where she could have lost her job, shut down by COVID, but now she's thriving and hitting records, helping families. So just being, feeling blessed to be part of that and finding a crew that really embraces the things we're able to create has been fun.
Yeah, y'all done well, man. And seeing what you've done with the kids, so your swimming lessons, taking them up to the to the trials, the Olympic trials, and meeting all the celebrities, the gold medal winners. And God, I'm thinking, Dave, as you traveling with your kids with ball games, the Miami's, renting suites and fishing with them all over the world. It's just been crazy. And I couldn't have done this, Logan, without a great staff. I found Robbie Kraft right out of North Carolina State University, a finance degree, and he's grown up and he runs now our compensation system, a large part of our operations and IT. And he's just one of those guys, you know, he knows people, he loves to have a good time. And I don't know how the conversation came about 3 years ago, but somebody said, do you own a bottle of Pappy's? I was like, no, I don't think so. Do I? My staff's like, no, but we can get you one because you've got the money. And I was like, all right. Kraft's like, I got a guy. You know, everybody's got to have a guy. So Kraft, kind of take me back 3 years ago, if you remember how this conversation, and how did we source this and what did we source? And did I buy a pig in the poke? Did I invest in I don't know what you call them, a hen, a chicken? What'd I do? What do we got? Do you have these bottles?
Well, the good news is we're going to find out from Logan, who is the expert. I am not the expert. As like you said, I just knew the guy. I'm not sure if you remember, Andy, but you were redoing your office, and above your sink, you had this like really cool place to put a bunch of bourbon bottles. And you said, hey, do you know anybody that could get me a couple of cool bourbon bottles? And I said, yeah, I know this guy. And so I texted my buddy and he's like, man, I'm in Maryland all the time. I'm in South Carolina. He travels for work all the time and likes to go to local ABC stores. So the first thing that you bought, and this is not Pappy, this is, and Logan, you know more about this than me, but this is 25th edition Booker's. And I'll take it out of this, holder.
Careful with that $375 bottle.
This is, I'm not sure if you can see this, Logan, but it's 25th Booker's. It's this really cool little, box. So you purchased this 3 years ago for $450, and whether you got a good deal or not, we are about to find out. So,
and that was my basically decorations for my office, because that instead of having this world map of this shipbuilder that built my house here on the ocean, I should have a background of my little decoration up there, my sink and stuff in my home office in Burlington.
Yeah. So
what else we get?
You got a 20-year Pappy Van Winkle. And I'll open this up here. So this is a 20-year Pappy Van Winkle.
Where's the 20? Okay.
Is that coming in clear?
Yeah.
And then the last one you got comes in the black sleeve. And this one is the 23. And I think, and Logan will know better than me, but I think the 23 are individually labeled for the bottles. And so Logan, this 23 came from Hartsville, South Carolina. And my friend bribed a guy that worked at an ABC store to buy it the night before they announced this was coming out. So this came from Hartsville, South Carolina. And the 20-year-old, this came from Chestertown, Maryland. And my friend's brother-in-law won a lottery for the right to purchase this in Chestertown, Maryland. So that is how Andy acquired these bottles.
Wow.
So what did I invest in my decorations, my artwork?
So I called him yesterday and we couldn't remember the exact numbers, but he said, I think the Booker's was around $450. I think the 20-year, you paid him between $900 and $1,000. Let's call it $1,000. And for
Davey.
Do what?
I said Davies.
And for the 23, he thinks you paid $1,800. But again, it was 3 years ago and I don't have a receipt. That is by memory. So whether you got a good deal or not, I have no idea, but they are really cool bottles with really cool sleeves, and one's got a box. So I'm happy for you. Win, lose, or draw.
I tell you what, these things look really good. I did a TikTok recently, and I said, it's one of those silly ones that it says, everybody's got something. Everybody's got that something. And I was just doing my things on my counter where my sink is. And it's some people don't know some of that stuff there is probably way more rare, but they're not it's so rare they didn't heard it, but don't know what it is. It was a flag of United States. It's been on Air Force One, military guy. There was a bone knife that has an incredible history and so on. And I said, but then you got this. And I did the Pappies, and it went through the roof, that TikTok, because apparently somebody recognized it. And I said, yeah, maybe there is something to it. So these are not cracked, not opened.
Yeah, they're not. I am not opening them with any amount of peer pressure. They're yours to open, but they are sealed 20 and 23.
So Van Winkle, Robert Van Winkle coming into our family reunion is what got this started, Logan. And I was just thinking, what would be cool? It'd be a nice occasion to taste it, because collections are awesome, but I don't know. So it might be a time to bust one of them bottles, kind of easy sip. But I want to know if I'm going to choke with if it's too much money going down my throat. What are these authentic, Logan? I mean, is this true history? Do people like this? What's your opinion? What's your expert opinion of this, Logan?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this was the first kind of rare bourbon, period. Now, so much of it is going rare, but this was the first. This came out in the mid 90s by accident. Really is the rarity. It showed up in a wine magazine with a 99 out of 100 rating, and it's only released once a year. And it's 3,000 to 4,000 cases, which sounds like a lot, but when you compare that to Jim Beam, that's 70 to 90,000 cases a year, this is nothing. So people literally in Kentucky will camp out 48 hours before to just have the opportunity, not a guarantee, the opportunity to be able to purchase one of these. So you did really, really well. The hype is certainly there, and it's really, really good juice. Each one of these barrels is hand selected by Julian Van Winkle. So Pappy, the guy that's on the bottle, this is his grandson. So Julian comes to Buffalo Trace every year, picks him all the barrels he wants. They go to the tasting panel. The tasting panel approves it. So it's good stuff. And you got the two, just most sought after. Everybody wants it. You did well. If you regret it, I'd be happy to reimburse you for everything that you spent.
You give me all my money back.
Every dollar.
Return of my principal. That's what a lot of people want. They don't want a return on their money. They want a return of their money.
That's right. That's right.
Just want my money back. I don't necessarily need a high ROI. I just want my money back.
That's
Robbie,
right.
Have you done some research, Robbie? Have you Googled this and try to see, or what do you call it? What is it? What you sell stuff on Etsy or Craigslist, or I don't know how you sell stuff anymore.
When you asked me yesterday, I had no idea. So the first thing that popped up was eBay, right?
eBay, is that still around?
Yeah, I hadn't been on eBay since college. But what was funny, Logan, I was telling him last night, and I said an empty bottle of Pappy 23, no bourbon in it, is going for $150 on eBay with no bourbon. And so I'm thinking like, well,
hey, what about the little baggie? That little baggie's got to be.
Yeah, these. I mean, you can buy these for $20 or $30 or whatever. But it's just, I was like, if the empty bottle's going for $150, then hopefully, Andy got a good deal on it. But I mean, there's a ton of websites, and some of them are listed a lot higher than others. But I think you did okay.
What do you say about the Bookers? What do you think, Robbie? If we put that up for auction.
I went to Cast Cartel. Logan, are you familiar with that website?
Yeah.
And it was this bottle was selling on Cast Cartel. It was listed at $2,500, but I don't know if you can get it more expensive or cheaper than that. But
what do you think about it, Logan? $2,500. Is that a farce? Do you think is that?
Well, I can just tell you the Booker's by itself, not the 25th. The Booker's by itself. Booker's made it cool to do high proof bourbons. So it was a trendsetter. Now you can't get normal Bookers. So the fact that you have the 25th, you're not gonna regret that purchase at all.
$475 approximately. Is those are $575 to $2,500, Robbie? Appreciate it. Appreciate that tip, Robbie.
Sir,
What do you find on the 20 and the 23?
So the 20, I mean, you know how online is, it's whatever you can get for it. But I went on sipwhiskey.com,
Yes, sir.
and sipwhiskey.com, this is listed at $3,500.
That's the 20.
I'll take two. I'll take two.
So at $2,500, you would say you'd like to have that extra one on your shelf there, Logan?
Absolutely.
But Andy, as not your financial advisor, just a 34-year-old giving out advice, if you were to crack one, I would crack this one, because this one is valued at $3,500. The 23-year-old on Sip Whiskey was listed at $5,500. So I don't know if your palate can tell the difference, but if I were you as your financial advisor, I would pop this one, because this one is $2,000 more than this one.
You're not even remotely questioning my palate ability to discern.
Not questioning it at all.
Okay, I just want to make sure I had never heard you question
no,
my
sir.
palate. I've never known you to question my ability to roll dice.
I'm just trying to give you a heads up that this one costs $2,000 more than this one.
And
And
I
I think both of those are low
You think both those are low?
here in Kentucky. Yeah.
We could get it, so we could get it for that. Buy another one right now.
Well, and here's the other thing. Just this past week, there was a documentary. There's a show on Netflix called Heist. I don't know if you've ever seen this show, viral show. They just released what was called the Pappy Gate. So back 2014, I think it was an inside job. Some Buffalo Trace distillery employees were able to illegally acquire plenty of Pappy Van Winkle and sold it, and it went crazy. And so now it's on Netflix, and so now Pappy is even more popular than what it was. So I think the value will even go up from where it is right now.
Well, I was so excited offering Davies to have a sip of this rare, exquisite Pappy's brand along with Robert Van Winkle. I don't know, but again, Robert Van Winkle has not agreed to taste this with us, even if we should decide to crack the top. But I just thought it'd be cool. If I'm going to drink it, when's the next time I'm going to be having it with a Van Winkle and then a vanilla ice Van Winkle. And we are going to be asking favors of him while he's there. We want him to sing, instead of Ice, Ice Baby, we're looking for Premium, Premium Baby. And so there's a couple of things we're going to ask of him. So we think, we got to have some gift for him. We always have hats and shirts, but I was like, to taste something so rare, but this rare air, I'm starting to rethink. I got to think it through. But Mr. Davies, reactions, rebuttal.
I appreciate all of Robbie's advice. But as an instigator in the situation, I would highly encourage cracking all Van Winkle with Van Winkle. I would like to sit how wrong I was. I think that's the only way for me to learn my lesson in this situation.
This Buffalo Trace, I have numerous bottles of this Buffalo Trace, Robbie. I don't even know how many.
I just picked out your top three. You have a bunch of other stuff in your office.
There's we sipped on some stuff last time Davey's out there. What was that we had, Dave? Well, you were out at the cabin. The box of that inventory I bought all at one time from a gentleman, and in the
Barter House, yeah, Orphan Barrel.
We liked it, right, Davies? We thought it was tasty. Didn't add anything to it.
It was amazing.
We added ice to it. That was the only thing we added. We were told not to. No bitters, no lemons, no
That
sugar.
one doesn't need it. Yeah. Same with the Pappy. It doesn't need much.
Logan, I'm gonna tell you, I appreciate your opinion. I feel better about Robbie's acquisition and me acquiescing. Matter of fact, I feel like your family, man. You should come down to our family reunion and meet Mr. Van Winkle, and y'all can help me decide if we should open up a bottle of Buffalo Trace or Pappy's and enjoy a little. Maybe we could sit around and look at the bottles of Pappy's with Van Winkle. Maybe that would be. Let him have a picture with them. He could put one on each side.
I like it. I like it. That
It's
sounds
this coming
great.
weekend. What's the dates on it, Rob? We got August 29th, July 29th.
Yes, sir. July 29th through August 1st.
We're gonna be.
That sounds great.
Invite your wife. My wife will be there. My kids will be there. Steven's family will be there. Mike's family will be there. Robbie will be running stuff.
That sounds great. You had me at Van Winkle.
So not either Van Winkle, but at Van Winkle. 2 thumbs up on what our purchases.
Oh, if I had more hands.
All right, guys, this is Logan Haynes with the Rick House Basement in Kentucky. Mike Leventovich, Stephen Davies, Robbie Kraft. Hope to see you guys at family reunion and invest in something that you like and enjoy. And then one day on a special celebration, crack the bottle and enjoy it. All right. Love y'all. Thanks, Logan. Appreciate it. Thank you, Robbie.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Mike.